Hello. As always, I hope I find you well. Today, I'm going through another roll, black and white roll, taken with a Nikon F65. I have a kind of more detailed video about this camera, which I can link to you. So today we just go through the roll. And as I said, it's a black and white film, and I develop and scan it at home. And it's like mainly photos taken in Thessaloniki, Greece. And I hope you like it, as I say, and let's go through the photos now. Let's go to the through the photos now. This was quite a weird scene because it looks like some people place some clothes on the trees, and it feels like more like, how can I say, an art installation. But I assume it's more possible that somebody put it in the bag there, and some kids or somebody else go and put it on the trees. But look at this. I mean, the bokeh works quite well. And in my opinion, they're really interesting photos. Not for everybody taste. This is like a piece of art left on the street. This is like, it's like an abandoned building. And then it goes like quite weird scenes to see all these objects. Like it's like a game on, a mobile phone game when you have all these multiple items. But actually this goes like, I think I asked somebody locally and they suggested it was used to be like some tram facilities. There used to be a tram in the city, but I don't think it was there when I was born. So maybe more than 40 years ago, that was like a part of the city. And this was like the facilities of where they fixed the vehicles or something like that. And because so many years passed, it looks like an abandoned area. And these buildings are part from that. And maybe this was like columns part of the tram also. It's in the middle of the city and it's surprising how abandoned it is. I like the lighting on this one. And this is like another abandoned building close to there. And I kind of waste my film. You will see a lot of repetitive photos, but they have something interesting. And around the fence, if I say that correctly, there were like holes, and I was taking photos through the holes. It's like maybe a lot of, if it was like a selection of photos that I'll put online, I could select some of them. But I'm going to go through you with a whole roll of film. That's also this interesting. It's not so, you don't see so frequently this type of buildings in the area. Yeah, I was thinking these and these are almost the same, but it's a slightly different angle. This is something interesting here, all these broken windows. It makes you wonder why, who broke them. Again, it's like history. You wonder what happened in these buildings. And it's so big, nice buildings, and nobody's using them. Look at this. Look at the story of, again, these ruined buildings. The broken windows, the time on them. It's so poetic and interesting at the same time. This is something totally different, but I quite love how the lens work in this case. It's a really beautiful lens, and getting this type of photos with a film, for me, it's amazing. And look at the bokeh. This is quite sharp, well. And maybe people will say that this doesn't follow the rules, that it's not so interesting, but I think with all these letters around, I think it's quite an interesting composition, and look how perfect it is. Okay, you know perfect, what I mean is, for me. Then it was quite interesting to see, I think it was close to Christmas, and some people, maybe they have them from Halloween and they place them there. But I think it's quite interesting photos. Because you don't know what's it, and it feels weird. And I think this is to take a black and, this is the last photo, but to take a black and white photo of this subject, I think it makes it differently, and the effect of film, it makes it something like it's sold, or you know what I mean. I hope you like them. I come with some closing thoughts. So, I hope there is something interesting to you. As I mentioned in the photos, I really love this lens. I don't know, these Nikon lenses are amazing in my opinion. And it makes the photos, I like to take photos, as you can see in my channel, with like Holga, which are not so great. but they have their specific characteristic. But when it comes with like a proper 35mm film, I think that's maybe my best choice. And it's also the experience about this camera, which is an SLR camera, and it's totally different than the smaller, like single-use reloadable cameras. This kind of things. I think this feels like proper photography. And this camera is fully automatic, so I mean, you just put the film, it loads itself, and it has the technology brilliance, I think. So that's all from my side, and I'll see you. I stuck because I was, and I mean, I'm not cropping. How can I say? I'm not cropping the video usually. I just put it, and I noticed my attention was coming through here that this is turning, and maybe so it has the choice here. You should block it, and depending in this depends on like if you this camera controls the aperture through electronically, but I have another camera which you need to like to adapt this if you want to turn. Let me show you. So you can, in other cameras, you can turn this to change the aperture manual. That's why. So instead of stopping and cropping, I explain to you what takes my attention. And if you're here, thanks very much. How can I say? To stay with me. And if you like this type of videos, you can check my channel and subscribe and like and give comments. And I hope you enjoy it. And I will come back to you soon with another video. Bye.